I'm currently at my school's bus stop, so you know it's about to be a fun video. This could be a dumb decision, or a very good one, or a dumb decision like I said. We're gonna find out very soon. Well, here it is, my friends. My 1997 Mercedes SL500. This car has 240,000 miles. It has the 5-liter M119 V8, and it is the chassis code R129. This is one of the legendary cars designed by famous Mercedes designer Bruno Sacco, and I think its lines are just absolutely timeless, especially in this brilliant silver color. It looks really nice. My only complaint with this car with aesthetics is the wheels. These are called the Monclar wheels. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they're about 16 inches, and I just don't think they fit an SL very well. I'll show you a pic of what a car with monoblocks looks like from AMG, and that is definitely first on the list of cosmetics. The R129 is one of my favorite SLs that also ran for a very long production run of almost 11 or 12 years or so, about 1990 to 2002. I think production ended in 01, but 02 had the last model years of the Silver Arrow edition. This car, a reason I wanted a 1997 was for a few reasons. I wanted between a late 96 and a 1998. First of all, it has the very last of the M119 V8, a quad-cam V8 used in the 500e, and variants are used in several Le Mans cars over the years, and twin-turbo variants and whatnot. R129s also suffer from the biodegradable wiring harnesses that Mercedes foolishly used in the early 90s, I believe between 91 and 96, mid-96 when they made the updates. I mean, cars were totaled because of this. In fact, many cars, if you find them that are that era, they've either had the wiring harnesses changed already, or they've been totaled in the junkyard. So there's a couple options there. So that kind of leaves me with a post 1996, which is what I wanted anyways. Early M119 V8s have Bosch CIS mechanical fuel injection. They also have distributors with caps that can get kind of funky with condensation over time. This is the last variant of the M119, which means it does not have distributors. It does not have a mechanical fuel injection either. It has modern electronic fuel injection. It also has coil and plug ignition, so no more of that distributor stuff. So that's why I wanted a 97 or 98. That's kind of why I got this car over here. So the major downside of buying a 1997 or 98 is that, well, in my opinion, they're ugly. And of course, they're not that ugly. I just don't like the facelift bumpers and the rear bumpers compared to the pre-facelift. This car also was optioned with projector headlights, which are great. They do a great job lighting up the road, but I just don't think they look very nice. Now, of course, I'm not going to switch out these projector lights for some older reflector style in the older R129s, but I do not think they fit the design of the car that well, but I'm going to leave them anyways. What impressed me the most about this car when I first saw it on the listing on Facebook Marketplace was this paint. For a car that's 30 years old, pretty much, with 240,000 miles, this paint is in very good condition, probably better than my 2009 BMW 335i. It does need a bit of correction and maybe some rockers to be addressed, but I really cannot complain, considering all the conditions and all that. I mean, there's not even any oxidized clear coat. This car was definitely garaged, probably its entire life. And I just think the lines of this car are absolutely timeless. This is one of Bruno Sacco's last designs. In fact, I believe it was either the last or second to last of this very design language, shared with the W124, the W201, and other Mercedes models from this era, the 90s and so on. The biggest cosmetic issues with this car are definitely the front bumper. One of the previous owners definitely had some issues with some curbs. As you can see, they cracked the bumper, which cracked the clear coat, and that just kind of led to some deterioration. So I will be respraying that myself. I resprayed my E92 335i bumpers. They turn out pretty well in my backyard, so I'll be doing the same here. I mean, other than that, it's really in pretty good shape. Cosmetics aside, there are certainly other issues with this car. Of course, this one doesn't have that many issues, but the main issue is going to be related to the roof. So what about this infamous roof, right? Well, to my knowledge, the R129 was the first car to have a hydraulically operated soft top that would tuck away to a tonneau cover. Now, of course, cars previously had hydraulically operated soft tops, but they wouldn't actually tuck away like it does in this car, which is pretty neat. But they were designed to fail. So why do these things fail? Well, there are 11 to 12 hydraulic cylinders within this roof mechanism, which allow it to tuck away nicely behind the back seats, invisible to the world. Um, and they all leak. All the seals fail over time. They leak out hydraulic fluid, and the fluid leaks out on the floor, leaks out into your lap even because there's some cylinders over here. Luckily, this car, I think, has already leaked out all its fluid, so it's not doing anything anymore. If I press the button to move the soft top, pretty much nothing happens. So the windows will go down, and it just kind of makes some noises, but this doesn't actually do anything. But Mercedes somehow expected this would happen someday, and they give you a tool in the toolkit, which I do have all the tools. The tool allows you to manually put down the roof. Now, it's not as easy as you would think. I would love if this roof was just manually operated from factory, but it wasn't. You had to stick in this little Allen wrench into the top. There's 2 points over there, and there's 2 little catches in the very back, which allow you to then prop up the back of the roof, and then you gotta undo the tonneau cover. You know what? I'm just gonna show you because it's probably gonna be easier. Okay, so here is our lovely tool. This guy has even its own part number, a little Mercedes logo. Pretty cool. It says hand-operated top in English, or in German it says Handbetätigt. Yeah, sorry if any Germans are in the comments. I'm not even going to try that. Anyways, so when I bought this car, the hardtop was installed. In fact, it's sitting in my living room right now. My roommates are very happy about that. But I put the soft top up, and it looks like it has maybe been used once or twice in its life. The plastic windows are usually completely oxidized by now, and they're just in unusable condition. These look to be pretty much in mint condition. There's a couple scuffs on them, probably just from being stowed away for so long. But other than that, the black fabric is in great condition. It looks almost brand new. I don't think it was really used very much at all. I think the previous owners just used the hardtop for the most part. In fact, the previous owner that I bought this car from thought that the soft top was already done for. He thought it needed to be replaced, but it's in pretty good shape. Okay, so to remove the soft top, or put it down at least, you first have to open the trunk, which you press the keyhole down here. You can ignore all of my stuff in here, including a car cover and my camera stuff, whatever. All right, so what you gotta do is pull this little trim piece back. Of course, I think on some older SLs, older R129s, there's actually a little slot you can slide your wrench in there, but they removed that later on. You gotta pop this piece, and it's you can kind of feel a click there. And what it does is it releases one of the back lashes for the soft top. If I'm really focused and not recording a video, I can do this in about 5 minutes, which, you know, not as good as pressing a button, but it'll do for now. There we go. You can see that kind of popped up over there. Nice. You can lift this up like so. And now there's a little catch down here. Of course, I probably just got some, oh God. And now this can lift. Okay. A little cap over here. You gotta stick your Allen key in there on the side of the wrench. We're getting there, people. I swear we're getting there.
One eternity later.
And now for the final step, which is gonna put this roof into the little tonneau cover section. You gotta do it kind of in a weird way. It is also deceptively heavy, and a lot of resistance is involved. You think, oh yeah, it's a soft top. It shouldn't be that heavy. Well, that actually wasn't so bad this time, but the first time I was surprised. And it just kind of has to tuck away like so. Now I gotta say, I cannot imagine that this is actually good for the soft top to be moved manually. Probably not good at all. Probably really bad for the components, but you just gotta do. And I'll replace these cylinders, so there'll be a whole video about it. But for now, we're good to go. The sun is right in my eyes right now. And that, my friends, is how the R129 SL is supposed to look. Much better, isn't it? Just needs some AMG monoblocks, an AMG bumper, some older headlights, some amber corners, and I should probably stop thinking about it too much. All right, so let's take this SL500 for a drive. I'll tell you how it drives so far. I mean, it is pretty interesting, but it's a lot of fun, especially with the top down and a nice warm day like today in Southern California. Let's see if he starts up. Definitely have a lazy fuel pump right now, so that's definitely got to be addressed very soon. And the last thing I want is to get stranded in the middle of nowhere. So, that being said, let's take a drive. This car does have a pretty interesting, clunky transmission right now. It's going to beep at me because the roof hydraulics aren't working, so we'll let that do its thing. Known issues. All bushings of the suspension are shot. In fact, they're beyond shot. The oil leaking from the oil pan has just eaten through them. I'll show you guys a little clip of that in a second.
All right, my friends, you're already below the SL500, and this is comical. I've never seen bushings this bad in my life. I mean, they're falling apart. That's crazy. All of them, all the lower control arm bushings are just shot. I'm honestly surprised it drove as well as it did. I mean, look at this. This is just covered in years of oil. I can't even tell what I'm looking at. This car's about 30 years old. I'm guessing it's been leaking to the last 15 at the very least. This car's due for new struts, new springs, new everything suspension, but considering what I'm going to use this car for, I'm not too concerned about it right now. Most of this car is just covered in oil. I think between the oil pan and the valve cover gaskets, it's just covered. It looks like the transmission pan's leaking. Got to replace that connector as well. It looks like the oil is starting to get to it. That is notorious on the 722.6 for that connector to go bad because of oil.
So, knowing that all the suspension is shot, it is actually surprising at how well this car drives. This thing's rock solid. It's a heavy car. I think because it's so heavy, it just sort of wafts along the road. This is the only car I have where it's actually sort of relaxing to drive. The rest of them are pretty high strung. Even the 530i with its little 200 horsepower is wanting to use all that at all times. This car is, kind of cruising at low RPM at all times, using that low end torque of the V8. But when you want to, for example, right now, the quality is just so much better than what we see come later. So I love the R230 SL, the one that came after this. I love the design of it, the powertrains that were offered. My dad had one when I was a kid, my grandpa when I was a kid. I mean, I have a lot of core memories with those cars, but looking back, the R129 in this car, in this era of cars, the 140, the 124, and even early 210s, the quality is just so much better than the cars that came after during the Daimler Chrysler era. And even this car, being a facelift, one of the complaints is that the facelift cars, the interior got a bit worse. So like these door cards, people don't really like these door cards. People prefer the earlier door cards that are more square and boxy.
Well, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry about the audio complications. I'm still working on that with my new microphone setup. Clearly didn't go very well in this video, but hopefully for the next one, we'll be all set. Stay tuned for a lot more videos with this SL. Currently, it's not running. It has lots of issues, and I cannot wait to dig into those once I figure them out. It's been quite an adventure so far, so stay tuned.